Hello, hello! I am Ben Pick, and thank you for joining me in Running to Write, where I give questionable writing advice through running metaphors. Do you know what the hardest run is? The first one back after a major race or vacation. Your muscles are sore and exhausted before even leaving the house. That's why these recovery runs are meant to be run at a much slower pace. Ideally, you want to be able to hold a conversation or sing while you're running. Though, you may want to hold off on that if you're by yourself so that you don't scare anyone you're running by. Today, I'm discussing how to get back into writing after taking a break. In other words, here's how you do recovery runs for writing. Whether work has been kicking your ass for the past month or you have finished a major accomplishment like a draft of a manuscript, writing after taking an extended break is difficult. When starting to write a new novel after finishing the last one, expect a good amount of mental aches and pains. Look, I suffered through my own blank page inducing doubts and fears as I shifted from my previous manuscript to my current work in progress. For those of you struggling with the belief that you're not in as good writing shape as you used to be, or that the path ahead is too impossible to complete, I got 4 words for you. You can do it. Ignore those nagging voices because let me tell you something, they are wrong. You have proven you can do it by whatever writing goals you accomplish before going on your break. Plenty of people decide to run a marathon or write a novel simply to prove they can. Well, what good is proving your capabilities if you don't use it as a springboard toward the next challenge? Even if you left an unfinished manuscript before going on the writing break, you've produced something worthy of praise and a pat on the back. Whatever point you stopped at is still infinitely better than doing nothing. These are my 5 steps to get back into writing after a break. Number 1, don't forget to enjoy the moment and smell those flowers. After achieving a writing goal, take some time off to revel in the accomplishment. In my last video, I mentioned how after finishing a first draft of a manuscript, you should take off a week. In that time, you can write something you have no intention whatsoever of publishing, or start tackling your overdue to-be-read pile. Following a race, I allow myself an entire day to be a worthless sloth. This includes extra snacks, excessive gaming, the works. My only 2 rules are that I need a good night's sleep, and I need to do some light physical activity the next day, like walking my dog. These 2 rules should apply to both running and writing after a major milestone, as well as a healthy lifestyle in general. Number 2, just start writing. Force yourself to continue, knowing you'll achieve the monumental goal by chipping away at it. Put those words on the page regardless of their quality. Better yet, recognize that it'll take time for your writing skills to return, particularly if the recent break was a long one. Treat those initial writing sessions like recovery runs. Metaphorically, go slow enough to hold a conversation. For writing, this may be lowered expectations for word counts, or knowing you'll have to send the chapters through multiple revisions until they no longer suck. Number 3, divide and conquer. The start of every new project always seems daunting. You see only what you want to achieve until it becomes a weight pressing down on your chest to keep you up at night. When getting to the finish line feels impossible, break it up into bite-sized, manageable pieces. Aim for specific word counts on daily, weekly, and monthly intervals. If you set appropriately low initial goals, steadily increase them at a reasonable rate until you're back to your regular writing pace. Another great goal is to complete a writing prompt every day. Story a Day and The Teacher's Corner are 2 websites which provide daily writing ideas to help stir up your creativity. I'll include links for them in the description below. These mini goals are meant to reset and reestablish good writing habits. Number 4, rekindle your inspiration. Find that initial spark that drove you to put your thoughts on the page and let it flourish. Do you like tricking your readers with red herrings or creating spiraling, time-traveling heists? Use your passions to guide your next story. If you're, say, in your 30s to draw on a completely random number, and life has crushed that spirit from you, then look for help externally. Talk to a writing coach or find people to cheer you on. And I'll get into more on that in my final point. To find inspiration elsewhere, reread your favorite novel or listen to your favorite author's podcast. The podcast may even give you further calls to action, like a writing prompt to inspire you. And lastly, number 5, establish accountability. Back to finding people to cheer you on, post your goals and accomplishments to social media. At the start of the past few months, I put down that I wanted to run 100 miles within that given month. I'll provide updates along the way, particularly if I'm on the fence about whether or not I can achieve that goal without injuring myself. Making that public declaration drives me to achieve my goal much more than if I put it down in a running plan or write it in some journal. The weekend I'm recording this, I'll be getting feedback from a developmental editor on one of my manuscripts. That is both thrilling and terrifying. I'll need to scramble to address any issues they raise and turn around the next draft in a limited time frame. To push me through that strenuous schedule, I plan on posting my updates and progress as I go. That will keep me much more motivated than the money and time I've already invested. Those are my 5 steps to making a triumphant return to writing no matter how long the break. I am Ben Pick, and thank you for joining me in Running to Write. How long was your longest vacation from writing? What ultimately brought you back to your passion projects? Do you agree with my opinions, or is everything I said wrong? Let me know in those comments below. If you enjoyed my content and want to support what I do here, then please hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. I post my running and writing thoughts on social media, so be sure to follow along and join in with your own comments. See you next time. Until then, just start writing, especially if you've taken time off from it.